In the previous two pool videos, everything seems to have gone okay, but this is going to be the first major test of whether I can do this. Can I install the ICF walls so they're straight? Can I brace them so they don't fall apart and split under the vast weight of incredibly heavy wet concrete? Can I get them ready in time for when the concrete lorry turns up for the pour? And also get my outlet pipes and sump pipes safely piped up and the skimmer set exactly the right height for the finished patio. This is going to be a major effort for me, guys, so let's see if I can do it in video number 3, building the ICF walls. So it's a few days later, everything actually did set quite well in the end. Bit of a nightmare at the end of the pour because it started raining really heavily and we had to tarpaulin the wet cement just to stop the rain kind of hitting it, which means we've got a slightly dirty finish. But now, finally, I can start actually scoping out the walls, getting the ICF walls in. So once we've got all those bits and pieces in there, it's basically decision time. You really have to think carefully about where we're going to put these walls, and this is why. This line here, where those bricks are, that is a straight line, and when these walls that we've got here are up to that height, I kind of don't really want there to be a huge difference in the cuts for the tiles. I want them to be a nice linear straight line so we're parallel between there and also the side of the wall, or as near as can be. I've got my little laser level down there and that's along the line of this. So we've got a piece of angle iron here. You probably can't see it very well, but just here we've got our laser line. That's this line there. And we're just measuring out from this wall over to where that laser line meets. Once we've got that there, I'm just going to screw this down. This piece here now is completely parallel with the brick wall up there. We've measured the distance from here all the way down to here, right at the end. We've done the same from here down to the end. We've measured the distance across from there to there, and we're also going to measure it across from here to here. This measurement's the same as this measurement. That measurement's the same as that measurement. Then if we come to measure our diagonals across here, make a note of that reading, and then we come to make our diagonals along here, make a note of that reading, they have to both be the same. For instance, if this one's longer, that means we've actually got a trapezium like that, because this will be the longer measurement and that will be the shorter measurement. So as you make this one shorter and this one gets a bit longer because we're moving this and this so they're more in line with each other, that's how we know then that we're square. Once we've got that bit in, we'll use our angled aluminium to screw down as tracks. Firstly, it will give us a good bit of support from when it comes to doing the pour, but it also means that when we take all these bits out again to prepare our reinforcing underneath, because all these blocks are going to have to come out before we even think about getting them fully locked in ready for the pour, we've still got exactly where we need to be. We know exactly where we are and they won't move. Later on in the video, I'll show you how I actually get these all shuttered in so we can do our pour safely without the walls spilling out. Yes, I know I didn't 45 that little back bit there. Don't worry, I'll do it later on in the vid. I'm not sure I filmed it though. Needs to go up a tiny bit at that end, a little bit. And then when we popped our bubble on this way as well, we're just out of level that way. So we need to just roll that way and then we'll be level there. So what I'm going to do is get my first bag of post mix, dollop a few bits along the bottom just so it keeps its level, but also it roughly stays in position so now we can kind of work off it and go down there. Damp proof along the back and lap that in. There we go, guys. We've got a nice dollop there, nice little dollop there as well. Hopefully you can see that, I don't know. But it's there, believe me. So I've tested my foam on the sides here just to make sure that it gets a good grip and doesn't eat away at this, and it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to foam this little gap up here, that little gap up at the back. Then we're going to draw this together and then we're going to tighten it all up with a couple of my little tie wraps. So there we go. I'm just going to run a load more clamps down there to make sure that's nicely sealed in. So once we've got those on there, that's nice and level now. So you can see the system, you offset these. So we'll just put that on top like that. And then there'll be a run of blocks along here with the liner bead. The liner clips into that. Yeah, boy. Right, so we're extending up our reinforcing rods now up through this bit here. So we've got extra reinforcing rods laid in here that we've just clipped in with our special clip gun thing. We've extended these up just to below where the finished height of the ICF is going to be. So I used fixer foam along the ridges before I was about to put the next ICF block in. Pop the ICF block on top. And then I use this nifty little metal clamp gun that's really cool. And then this gun acts as like a tightener, but also as like it's almost like a weird little ratchet type thing. And then just cut that off like that and that's it, it's done. These walls over the far side, just down there, they are not installed yet, the top ones. I actually look like the evil guy in Poltergeist 2. God is in his holy temple. Quite a good sequel. So we've now got the outlets. So the outlet is what I'd actually call the flow. So we're going to have 2 at the bottom and 2 at the top. So we get a nice even flow of warm water coming in to the swimming pool that's been reheated, and that should create for us quite a nice even temperature going through. There's the sort of bit that you guys can probably all recognise on a swimming pool. Because we're having a liner pool installed, the liner will go down here where my finger is, where this finger is here, yeah, and that'll be what we seal on. The good thing about it is that we can just glue our 50mm pipe straight into the back of that. So we just need to first fix it roughly correctly, because we've got to also think about the fact that on top of this face here, this stuff, we're going to be putting on a 5mm felt around that. So we'll have 2 at the bottom over there and then 2 at the top, and the 2 at the bottom will tee together and then come up a pipe. The 2 at the top will tee together and come up a pipe. So then when they go back to here, we'll have 2 valves, one for the 2 tops and one for the 2 bottoms, and that means then we can actually control the flow out of the tops and the bottoms to make sure we get an even flow coming down the swimming pool and that we don't have any dead areas or anything like that. So if we're looking end on at the swimming pool while I'm measuring out the centres and everything, we're going to have our 2 feeds at the top and our 2 feeds at the bottom. The 2 feeds at the top will be joined together by a pipe and a T-piece that will go back to our plant, and the 2 bottom ones will be the same as well, just looping them over there for the drawing, and they'll both be fed from our end plant like so. Looking from the side, you'll see we've got our wall here, so we've got the shoulder of the first part of the outlet. This line here denotes the actual liner itself, because we're looking at it from the side, remember. And then over the top of that, we've got our fascia plate, and that will screw through our liner into the receiving plate, squeezing that up nice and tight so we get a watertight seal. And then we've got to make sure that we've got about 3 to 4 to 5 mil that is our nice little underlay. So that makes sure everything's all right. Like I said, we can just glue in our 50 mil into the bag.
The Soviet tank crews and artillery deliberately aimed to explode their shells high in the trees, more than a shallow shell scrape, which was no protection from the splinters.
Right then gang, so they are now glued in. You see around here, yes, we've got our sort of frontal bits there. So now we've got to just channel out where they go at the back here. So we've got a nice bit of room then as well for our P shingle to go around the pipes and protect them. Right, so there we go. Now we've just got a P shingle backfill all this, just so it covers these pipes a little bit, because we are going to have to push this back a little bit to make sure this bit here is level. Lovely. Before I put the top bits on, it's a good idea that I just expanded foam around these so any wet cement doesn't come out later on when we do the pour. Then I can put our top sections on, as you can see, exactly the same way as I've done them earlier. A nice little bit of squirty foam in there, and then reaching down, making sure that I get all my clips in, and then putting my rods further up through, which I did actually later on in this job. Then I could get the outlets fitted on the top bit, just cutting those back, doing them exactly how you saw me do them in a macro version earlier on in the vid. Nice and easy, straightforward, really getting somewhere now with getting these inlets in. In a second, you'll watch me get the skimmer installed, which was absolutely mental. But first, do you want to learn plumbing yourself? Let me take 48 seconds to tell you that you can learn plumbing online in a fully structured course and curriculum designed by me from the comfort of your home or shed in your own time to improve your basic plumbing skills and knowledge. From the basics of how to use basic plumbing tools, how to turn the water off, how to join and bend copper pipe and waste pipe, to a fun skills test where you'll make your own test rig, which trainees and apprentices do at MVQ level. There's even a section on the top 5 plumbing jobs that I'll teach you along the way. You can ask questions in the discussion panel next to each lesson, plus get access to the Plumbing Essentials community where you can post pictures of your work and talk about the course and learn from your peers. So if you're a young person looking to get into the industry, an apprentice who wants to brush up their skills, a DIYer interested in plumbing, or even a handyman looking to add plumbing to their services, then look no further than learnplumbingonline.com with yours truly from Plumber Parts. Anyway, back to the video. So now I connected up the 2 top outlets and spent a good amount of time getting loads of P shingle around them. After that, I dug in and connected up our sump pipe work, down the side of the pool in exactly the same way, just digging the trench out and then backfilling it with loads of shingle, and also got our pipework round to the skimmer. You'll be seeing in a future video all these pipes get connected together in my nicely designed little plant room box thingy, so don't go anywhere for that. And in the next video I'll also be telling you how I'm going to power all of this lot, because it ain't going to be cheap. Right, it's now time for us to get the skimmer prepped. So big hole there, big hole in the top that you take off, and a hole at the bottom for us to connect where our water has been sucked down through back to the main plant room that I'm going to be piping up behind me. Every fitting needs to be properly cleaned down as well. It takes time, but when you're putting this under the water, underground sorry, you don't want this to leak on a later date, because that means shovels, could potentially mean putting up patio, which you don't want to have to do. So you just want to make sure everything's as clean as possible. Get that run around. So this cleaning fluid cleans a load of stuff off, but it also etches, so we get a nice proper seal. This is really good stuff, this is. So don't mess about, that's one thing. The other thing, it means you do have to just wind it on as quickly as you possibly can before it all locks up. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right, so now we've got to get our skimmer sort of set. Now there's going to be a row of bricks. In fact, one of them we're actually sat on at the moment. A nice big brick. I need to account for that height. So basically what we need to do is account for that height, then a small piece of mortar on top of that, and then the thickness of our finished patio. There you go, that's now installed. It's the next day. I got finished pretty late yesterday, but as you can see, got our heights there to account for our brick. And you've got to remember that this bit here is the finished height of the patio, or just below it. I got all of that connected up, got all of my acros in, got it fully braced, and then the phone call. Jimmy, can we come and do your pour today?
Yeah, we're just making sure that the pipeline reaches all the way around that way. Idea that that's going to finish there, and then we can snap this joint off here, and this bit's going to finish this front piece. Before we get any concrete in the line, it's easier just to get it all set out and make sure it's going to reach both ways, rather than when it's full of concrete and we've not got what we need. What would you prefer to be doing this morning other than this? Well, I've had breakfast. What else can you ask for? So how would you do it? Do you sort of lay it a bit in and then go back over the top, or do you just start at one place, fill that up and then move on? We're going to see how this polystyrene looks. Oh, right, okay. Ideally, to make life easy, you would just try and fill it up gradually all the way around, and going by how you've got it nicely shored up. But I don't think we've got a problem with that. If it looks a bit iffy, we'll have to snap back off and work around in a layer. Does that make sense?
And then let it sort of stiffen.
Yeah, but it ain't going to stiffen much because your lorry's, you've got one load. Yeah. So your one load's already here. So consequently, we've got to get it in. When we get it in now, we'll get it in 20 minutes time. It's still got to go in. Okay, and then when it comes to like the strength of the concrete, was it C40? It's a C40. Does that make a difference for your like cleaning your lines out and stuff like that? No, it doesn't make no difference. It just means it's going to cure faster. Yeah. Obviously the weather's not going to be a friend. Yeah. At the moment. The stronger the mix is, it generates more heat anyhow. Yeah. Obviously, agitating it longer in the drum, it's going to generate more heat. So consequently, what you've got is going to finish quicker, okay? So I'll be swimming tomorrow, is that what you're saying? Not quite. Hopefully not in concrete. Well, no. To be fair, if we get a storm later, yeah, you could be, yeah. Oh, don't say that, mate. Honestly, that, yeah. Told me you're saying I don't have to use a vibrator for once. Because it's non-visual and you are not going to see it, I know structurally you should, but because this is this polystyrene stuff that's lovely, I would be a little bit on the edge of caution, really. But you're not worried, you're happy? Yeah. Yeah. It's Friday. Look at that, father and son working together, isn't it beautiful? Yes, without arguing yet. I'm sort of happy, but at the same time I'm sort of bricking it. I hope I've done the right thing. The pipe's all here, ready for the pour. Oh my God. So this is the nozzle we've got, and he said there's quite a lot of steel in there, which I think is a good thing, but he kind of said that it means it's like more difficult to get to move about. My biggest worry is that I just don't want that bottom to come out. Look, even the cats come round to watch, you know what I mean? Like, this is how important this is. Meow! Big G would be proud if he was still here. Also, day before I measured these blocks. I need to put in brick ties, and I've measured all the way down there. So once this is filled up with cement, I can just pop my brick ties in there, and that will tie those bricks on whilst I get them done over the weekend. Moment of truth. And that's the nice consistency you're looking for. Yeah, obviously wet is easier, but because of what you're doing, we're not going too wet because you end up putting a lot of stress on your shirt ring and your walls. Don't forget, the first bit look wet because you've got a grout.
Yeah,
so now it's starting to come through. Look, it's more.
He's a worried man, he's a worried man.
No, is he? Hell. It ain't my swimming pool.
It actually went well. I'm so chuffed, and it was really nice to be able to help these guys do the job and learn about what they're doing as well. Father and son team, it's just, yeah, really, really nice to see. I really enjoyed this day. So Tom, are you happy?
Well happy. Look at that, it's in.
Oh, mate, it's gone well, hasn't it? Also, I've learned a bit today about how to do it with you.
No, it's gone really well, mate. You just don't know till a day, do you?
No,
I know you've gone overkill, but you just don't know till a day how things are going to hold up or anything.
It took a day to get the acros in. It's a day well spent, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
but now it's just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone, don't touch it. Put this bit of blowout concrete just here, which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And then you can rake it in and that'll make up for a bit of hardcore.
Yeah.
Then we're completely empty.
I popped my brick ties in, and I know a few of you are going to say, why did you do that, mate? It's totally pointless. But, you know, I was at a point now with this where I was like, I've only got one chance to do everything as right as I can, so let's do that now. A couple of days later, I got all my bricks down, all the ties in perfect position, using my little mixer. I tell you what, that mixer I got off Amazon, I'll leave links to it in my shop below. That thing has taken a beating. Then it was the moment of truth. About a week later, I took all the acros out, and that's it, the walls are done. We're about to go to the pub and have a beer. What do you think of the pool progress so far?
Absolutely wonderful. Mate.
Bear in mind, I think, did you say that I was mad and that I was ruining my garden at one point?
Yeah.
Now, are you eating your words, Dad?
Will it ever be the same again?
Yeah. No, it's coming along all right, isn't it? So I bet you're looking forward to coming around here and wallowing it.
Yeah, I'll have a
swim. Even though you won't be doing lengths, Dad.
I die from one end to the other.
Yeah. I remember holding onto your back as you did breaststroke down at Butlins when we were kids.
Well, I was swimming underwater.
Yeah, we used to love that, didn't we? There you go. In the next video, I get ahead of the game and figure out how am I actually going to power the swimming pool. Loads of people have told me that swimming pools cost a fortune to heat. I'm hoping that with the ICF walls that I've built and also this snazzy power plant, I'll be able to make heating my swimming pool in the middle of the summer almost completely free. Members of the channel can watch that video live right now. If you're not a member, just click the join button and get involved. See you soon.